Hello, everyone, and welcome to the First Steps with Ringover webinar. Just gonna wait a few minutes so more people can join us. While we are waiting, I'm just going to show you really quickly our help center. So you can have access to our help center by typing support.ringover.com. So here you're gonna find articles that can help you to configure your IVR, how to manage your calls, and also the user account settings. So all of these are available to you at support.ringover.com. And also, you're going to find a list of all of our webinars. So our past webinars, you can watch them again, and you can watch them whenever you want by accessing this list right here as well. So it's support.ringover.com. You also have access to our new self-learning platform. So we have a new learning hub available for you. If you have a new hire, let's say arriving next week, you don't really have the time to teach them how to use the Ringover solution so they can um, make new phone calls or receive phone calls. You can share this link with your new hire and they can take classes. The videos, they are really short, so it's 1 or 2 minutes. So one day of training can help them to better understand the Ringover solution. So we're going to share the link by the end of the webinar. So it's academy.ringover.com. By following this link, you can have access to this platform. So you have the user training supervisor. Even if you're a manager, you've been using Ringover for a few times, but you need to get better at building an IVR, for instance. So you have also a module dedicated to the IVR creation. So you have here the courses, and then you can take a quiz to test your knowledge. So don't hesitate to share this with your team as well. We're going to start the webinar. So welcome to everyone. Welcome to those who have joined us. My name is Marcos. I am part of the product advocacy team here at Ringover. Our goal is to show you how to use our platform, how to use our tool, how to make outgoing calls, how to build an IVR. So this is what we are here for. I am joined today by Bruna, who'll be answering all of your questions in the questions tab. So if you have any question, don't hesitate to ask them in the questions tab. And then I'm going to answer them by the end of the webinar if Bruna hasn't given you an answer yet. So let's start today's webinar. So let's see our agenda for today. We're going to see the introduction to common business communication tensions, how the Ringover solution can help you to solve these problems. We're going to see the demo of the user interface, and then we're going to see the questions and answers session. Okay, so let's take a look at our first key point, which is monitoring team performance. So what do you mean by that here? We're talking about the lack of visibility on the team's phone activity. So especially regarding missed calls. So in the Ringover solution, you're gonna have access to analytics that will show you a full view of your team's activity. So you're going to see the missed calls, the reason for the missed calls, how many outgoing calls your team is making, how many answer calls your team is able to get during the day, during the week. So all of these analytics will be available to you and will help you to better understand how your team is working and how you can improve their performance. So let's move on to the second key point, which is the productivity. So here we're talking about the constant need to switch between one tool to another. So when you need to write your notes in Ringover and then you need to write them again in your CRM or in your ticketing system, all of this will result in losing a lot of time because you need to use the same information over and over again. So in order to help you to gain some time, with Ringover, you're going to have access to over 60 integrations, including Salesforce, HubSpot, Zendesk. So to activate these integrations, it's really simple. The admin of the account will be able to activate them from the admin dashboard. You just give a few clicks, insert your personal information, and then you're going to be able to integrate the Ringover solution with your CRM. This will help you to gain a lot of time because you're going to share the information between the two tools. So let's move on to the third key point, which is the coaching and onboarding of new hires. So what does that mean? This means bad training, longer timelines of skill development, and a lack of integration within a team. So to help you with this business tension, we will make available to you a feature called coaching and onboarding. So it's the Whisper feature. So with this feature, you're going to be able to join your new hire calls, and you can talk directly to your new hire without the client hearing the conversation. So you can guide them in a live call. If it's the first time they're making a call, if they're going to call a difficult client, you can guide them and you can give information to your agent, and the client will not hear the conversation. So this is the whisper feature. And we also have the recording features. You can also join the call and make it a conversation between your agent, the client, and you. So this is also a possibility. So you're going to have a lot of features that will help you to guide your new hire in the training process. So the last key challenge is the classic issue of call quality and equipment problems. So in order to face this challenge, Ringover will use the cloud-based VoIP, so voice over internet protocol. So that means that we're using the internet instead of the traditional phone lines to make phone calls. This will ensure a high quality calls for your team. So now that we have seen all of these business challenges and how Ringover will help you to face them, let's take a look at some of the key features in the Ringover system. The first one is the simplified phone system management. So here we're talking about our Ringover dialer that will help you to make phone calls, receive phone calls, also set up your mic, also do all of the settings that otherwise would require an IT team. You can do it by yourself just with a few clicks. We also have data-driven performance improvement. So we have seen we will make it available to you a lot of analytics that will help you to understand your team's performance, to understand why there are missing calls, how many outgoing calls they're able to do. So all of these analytics will be available to you in your dashboard. We also will have access to technologies such as the IVR builder. So in this picture, you can see the IVR builder. So you can see all of the branches. You can see all of the architecture of the IVR builder. It's very user-friendly, very intuitive. So you give it a few clicks and then you can build an IVR, so an interactive voice response that will redirect your calls according to the customer needs. So if they need to talk to the support, they'll type 1. If they need to talk to the sales, they'll type 2. So according to the customer needs, you will redirect the calls. And this technology, you can do it by yourself as well from the dashboard. We also going to have the possibility to interact with the client in the same interface using different platforms. So you can use WhatsApp, you can use Instagram, you can use Facebook Messenger. All of these options, all of these features, they will be in the same interface, which will help you to keep track of the client journey because, well, everything, all of the information is at one place only. So when it comes to call campaign, when you need to call multiple prospects, you need to keep track of your performance. So also with the call campaign feature in Ringover, you're going to have access to analytics, to metrics that will help you to analyze your performance and to get a better result. Okay, so we have seen the challenges and we have seen the key features. Now let's go to the user interface demonstration. Let me just check. So, okay. In the user interface, we have something new that have arrived. So if you go straight ahead to your settings, you're going to find this new option available here, which is the conversation view option. So we will recommend you to use the unified view. Otherwise, you can keep your classical view, which is this view right here with your call logs, with the message section, but we will recommend you to use the unified view, which is this option right here, which will bring everything to the same interface, to the same section. So it's going to be simpler for you to understand the interface. So we understand that this is a new feature, this is a change. So this is why you can go back to the classical view for now in order to get used to this new view. But we will recommend you to use this one. So for this webinar, we will use the unified view. So let's go back here to the conversations. So when you arrive in your user interface, this is where you're going to see your daily analytics. You're going to see all of the sections of the user interface right here. You're going to see the Ringover dialer, of course, left. Doesn't matter where you go in the page, the dialer will always remain here. So let's use the dialer to make a phone call. So in order to make a phone call, you can either use the virtual keypad. You can also type in the number, of course. You can look for a specific contact. And of course, you can click on a contact or on a number, and then this will copy the number or the contact to the dialer, and then you can call the person directly. So you can also choose which number you're going to use in order to make the phone call. You can also hide your caller ID if you want to. You just go back to this one right here to show you that you can also, let me switch to English. So you can also choose to use the local presence, which is a feature that will allow you to automatically choose the international number that is the closest to your destination. So if you call someone in the US and you have a US number in your list, automatically you're going to use the US number to call your contact. So this is the local presence, this feature right here. So let me go back here. And you can also filter your numbers. If you have a lot of international numbers in your list, you're going to see all of the countries here, and you can filter the numbers by country. You can also search for a specific number. Let's say I'm going to use this one, or I can use also the mobile one. I'm going to use this one to make my phone call, and I'm going to call this contact right here. So I'm going to click on this number, and I'm going to call my contact. Okay, so I'm talking to my contact. I have the actions right here, and I have the history right here. So the history is all of the interactions that I had with this person. I can put the user on hold. I can also write a note, add a tag also during the call, and I'm going to also have access to the keypad. Again, if I need to type in a number, I can mute the person, I can start or stop the recording, and I can transfer the call to my mobile app. If I have the mobile app on my phone and I'm connected with the same account, I can transfer this call to my mobile app. I can also share this call with the link. So if I click here, I can share this with someone, and the person is able to either join the call or whisper, so talk directly to me because I'm the one that shared the link. Here, I'm going to click on transfer. I'm going to look for this contact, and I can either direct transfer this call phone to this user, or I can also ask first. So that means that I'm going to ask the user if they are available before transferring the call. So we recommend you to use this feature right here. So to ask first before transferring the call. So this is a nicer way to do a transfer. Instead of directly transfer to the person, you ask if the person's available. So you can choose this option right here, and can also send it directly to the voicemail of the person. This is the third option that you're going to see when you do a transfer. And let me go back here. So this was the transferring options that we're going to see if you need to transfer this call. And if you need to call a second person, let me go right here. So as you can see, I was able to merge the two calls. So I was in communication with all of the contacts that I called. I was talking directly to them in the same conversation. So it can either be two different conversations, and then you can switch from one conversation to another, or you can talk to everyone at the same time. And right after a call, you're going to see the after call work. So that means that you are unavailable to receive new phone calls. So you can see that my dialer, it's orange. And in this page, you can create a task, you can leave a note, you can leave a tag. This is a moment for you to process the call. So to maybe modify your note. This is a note. So let me click here. So I'm modifying my note after the call. So this is really a moment for you to process the call before you take any new calls. So if I click here, I'm available to receive phone calls again. And as you can see here in the conversations tab, I have access to my interaction with this contact right here. So I'm going to see it was an outgoing call. I have the recording. I can download the recording. I have the summary right here. So all of this information about this call that just happened will appear here in the conversations page. So this page is for you to keep track of all of the interactions that you have with your contacts. So you're going to see all of the contacts that you had an interaction with. They will appear here in the conversation. So let's say Marcos is my client. I call them every day. I am going to see all of the calls that I have done to Marcos. They will appear here in the conversations part, in the conversation section. So as you can see here, this is a call that I just had. I can click here to check the call details. So I can see the transcription of the conversation, the call flow as well, the summary. I can add a tag if I want to, can create a task. So I can do all of this from here. So if you click here, you can call details. You can directly add a tag, block the number. So all of the interactions that you have with your contacts, they will appear here in this page, conversations. So this is how you keep track of your call log, of your SMS log. So if you exchange messages with this contact, they will also appear here in this interface, and you can check. So here, if I have a mobile phone number, or if I can send one-way texts, I'm gonna have this option right here. So, hi, Marcos, thank you for your call. And I can click here, and that's it. I can send my SMS to my contact. So my contact will receive this SMS. Of course, the contact needs to have a mobile phone as well. So in this case here, since the contact doesn't have a mobile phone, I cannot send them any SMS. So this is not going to work. You can also check here the status. So you can also assign a status to your contacts. So for instance, my contact is in the onboarding phase, but I'm going to go to the advanced phase. and also to the confirmed phase. So you can check in which step of your process your contact is right now. The manager can also modify this information. So if you click here on contact details, you can check the status list right here. The manager can modify this, and the manager can also create new status. The users, they will be able to choose one of the steps of the process. Let me just go here. So in this case, so if you check here, I have access to my status. Here, I don't have access to my status. This is because I don't have this contact in my database. So if I click here, I'm going to add, this is a person. Let's say it's user number 1. I already have the number, so I'm going to add the contact. Okay, so now that I have this user in my database, I can click here, contact details, and I can assign a status to this user. So I'm going to choose training, and now I can say that this user is in the onboarding phase. So first add your contact, and then you can assign a status to your contact. When you check this conversation right here, you're going to see here the tasks that I have with this contact, and you're going to see also the AI tools. So the AI tools will allow you to ask error. So if you click on ask error, which is our voice agent, you're going to be able to type a prompt and ask error to produce, for instance, a summary of all of your interactions that you had with the contact. You also can simply click here to summarize the conversation and ask also what are the next steps that you're going to have in this interaction with this contact. So error can suggest you what are the next steps. Error can summarize also the conversation, and you can also type in your prompt. If you click here, you're going to close the conversation with error, and then you're back to the conversation with the contact. So let's show you again. If I click here, I'm activating the AI conversation. If I click here, I go back to the conversation with my contact. So I can send either an SMS or a one-way SMS. So I click here. There you go. I just sent an SMS to my contact. So we wanted to show you this new conversations page. Once again, if you choose the unified view, which is the recommended view that we have implemented, you will see all of your interactions here in the conversations page. If you want to go back to the classical view, yes, you can just choose here, and you're going to see the call logs like they used to show before, and also have access to the SMS logs. Let me go back to the unified view here. There we go. So let's go to the network. So in the network is where you are going to be able to add all of your contacts. So if you have an integration with a CRM, you're going to have access to all of your contacts automatically in your network. So you're going to bring all of the contacts from your CRM database to the Ringover database. So all of your contacts will be available here. If you don't have a CRM, you can use Ringover has a CRM, so you can simply click here, add a contact, and this contact will appear here in your list. So as you can see, just pay attention that you need to actually write in the number so you can add the number. So if you don't add a valid number, you will not be able to add the contact. Here, you're going to have your analytics. So these are your personal analytics. So we're not talking about the host team analytics. So it's not the analytics of the whole team. This is your personal analytics. So we're going to have the service level, how many calls you were able to answer compared to how many calls you missed. And then you're going to have your service level. You can switch from a percentage to whole numbers every time. we're going to have your total calls. So how many outgoing, how many incoming, how many missed calls you had, the duration, the calls as well, the average communication duration, and also how much time did you spend on snooze, so unavailable, and the reasons why you were unavailable, and also how many tags you're using in your account. You also have the SMS analytics and the video calls analytics. Let me just show you something that I haven't shown you for the conversations. We're talking about personal analytics. Here, you can also filter by your personal calls. So if you click here and you activate this option right here, you will only see your conversations. So all of your colleagues' calls, they will not appear in your conversations page. Of course, if you deactivate this, you're going to see everyone's conversations. But if you leave this activated, then only your conversations will appear here. So this can be very useful if you use this filter right here. You have also other features such as the types of calls or the types of interactions. So WhatsApp message, SMS, voicemail, doesn't matter. The dates, so you can also choose a date range, the assignments for the tasks, and also which IVR is related to those calls. So don't hesitate to check the filters and to maybe activate the only my conversations filter. This can be pretty helpful. So we have seen the analytics. Let's go to the settings. So in the settings, you're going to have the general settings, such as the first name, last name. You cannot change your email address. So once you have an email address in your account, you cannot change it. You need to delete your account and create a new one if you want to change the email address. You can change the language if you want to, of course, and you can go to dark mode for those who like it. Of course, you have the conversations view option, which I just showed you. You have also the click to call signature. This can be pretty helpful if you send multiple emails per day to your prospects and you want your prospects to be able to call you back right away. Use the click to call signature. So you can copy either the buttons or the link. So let's say I'm copying this link. I'm going to copy paste it in my email signature. So when my prospect receives my email, they'll be able to click on the link basically, and they'll be able to call me back. So if they click here, I will receive a phone number. Of course, it's going to, so I cannot know who's calling me because the person is basically using a link call me, right? They're using their browser to make a phone call, so there's no number attached to that phone call, so there's no way for me to know who's calling me. So this is the limitation that we're gonna have. Otherwise, it's a pretty useful feature because you can let your prospects, your clients call you back, and they don't need to know your number. They don't need to use their mobile phone number. They can basically they're navigating, they're using a browser, they click on the link and they give you a call. So this can be pretty useful. Regarding the calls, we're going to have the working hours, so you can specify when you're available or not. You have the incoming, outgoing calls. You can also specify the call forwarding. So let's say I know that I'm going to be away next week, so I'm going to be on holiday, so I'm going to redirect all of my calls to my colleague. So it's going to be Patrick. Or let's say every time I miss a call, I want my calls to be sent to my manager. So this is what I'm going to do. Every time I have a missed call, I send them to my manager so that my manager can take my missed calls. You can also activate your voicemail, of course. You can customize your notifications. So do you want to receive a notification every time you have a missed call or a new voicemail? It doesn't matter. You can choose it. And when you go to the security, you have access to the SIP account. So this will help you to set up Ringover in a physical phone system. Let's say you have a reception at your company and you want to use Ringover in the phone system of your reception. You can do that by activating Ringover thanks to this information right here. So you're going to have access to this information here, and you share this information with your technical team, and they'll be able to set up Ringover in your physical phone system of your reception. Don't hesitate to use this button right here as well. This will reload your page, and this will clear your cache, and it might help to solve some visual small bugs. So if you have something behaving abnormally in your interface, don't hesitate to use this button right here. This will reload your page, and this might solve small bugs that you might have. If the bug persists, if you still have the bug even after reloading the page, then you might want to create a ticket to our support team. But don't hesitate to use this first to test if it's going to solve the problem. You can also block numbers, of course, from here, and you can check some of the tools that we have an integration with. Now, let me just check here. You have access to the dashboard, to the Ringover roadmap for those who want to know what's coming next in the Ringover solution. You can download our extension as well as our desktop apps. And you can refer Ringover, have access to our help center. So I showed you the support page. And let me just show you when you click here in groups. Let's say your colleague, they work as an HR or a CSM, and they're telling you, oh, Marcos, we might need your help tomorrow. We're going to receive a high volume of calls. Can you help us? I can just click here, and then I join the CSM groups. So I'm going to receive all of the calls from this specific group. If by the end of the day, I don't need to help my colleagues anymore, I can just click here and I left the group. So every time you need to help your colleagues by joining their groups and receiving the phone calls of that group, you can by clicking here. So you come here, groups, and then you're going to find the groups that are available for you to click. Just before we finish, let me just show you that here you're going to have access to all of your team members or all of your colleagues. So by clicking here, you can send internal messages to your colleagues. So these are only internal. You can only send them to your colleagues. If you want to send an SMS to a client, you need to come here, conversations, and then you type in your message and you send your SMS message using the SMS or the one-way text. So the SMS will be a normal SMS, so you need a mobile phone in order to send it. And the one-way text would basically be an SMS that we will send using your brand name. So let's say you're going to send an SMS using the Ringover brand name, and it's an SMS that your contact will not be able to reply to. So they will basically receive this SMS with a piece of information. They're not going to be able to reply. And the idea here is to basically share an information with them, and you don't necessarily wait for a reply. If you're waiting for a reply, you send a normal SMS of hers. And you have here the cost of the SMS explained to you. Okay, so if you don't have any questions, thank you for coming. Thank you for your participation. Don't hesitate to check our last webinars list, watch them, and to share with us. Also, you're going to receive a survey after the webinar. Don't hesitate to share any ideas for new webinars and to give us your feedback on our product. Thank you, and I wish you all a nice day. Bye.